read those and just look for a motion to, we can do it all at once. Christina, you remember anything else that was, I'm sorry for being so, anything else other than those two billboards being deferred on the BZA that you remember?
Not on the BZA, no. It's just the use variance and the variance for Hutchison and View Outdoor.
So just when we start new business, just make note that 2 items on that's going to be deferred, and you could read them both, and then.
Well, what I'll do is under communications as amendments to the ordinance.
Okay.
People can do now, just so you're aware. We're broadcasting.
So now once you see people up there, then you're live.
No, we're live now.
Oh, so they can hear us talking.
Yeah. But I have to start the meeting, so there's some stuff that we need to set up.
You know the best thing to come out of this? They put the hand towels back in the back.
All right.
They had those rows like.
We're live.
Yeah.
Invest in the people, invest in the people, invest in the people.
That doesn't make any sense. Okay, hold on.
Christina, can you hear me? I can't hear you now. I heard you before, but when you made me a panelist now, I can't hear you at all.
Bill Emerson.
Hello.
Greetings. Hi,
How's everybody
Daniel.
doing?
Hey, can everybody see me? I'm at the airport.
Oh, hey.
You're at the airport.
Hey, doggone right. I'm getting out of here. I'm not afraid of anything.
What are you hearing? Where are you heading?
Oh, Tampa for about a week and a half. See? Okay.
Yeah, a bunch of suspicious characters here. How come my video doesn't work? Maybe I'm better off.
I think you are. I think we are.
How's this for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Enough.
There you go.
Can you guys hear and see me?
No. I don't hear or see you.
Okay,
Here.
that's a good thing.
Where'd the masked man go? There he is.
He left us.
Can you see me?
And the masked man.
Where's your video, Ned?
Look, there she is. There she is. There's Cindy. And my girlfriend too at the same time.
There we go.
Wife and girl.
So we have Jerry, Dan, Rebecca, and Bill.
Okay, hello.
Frank. You got Frank and Jim Metro.
There's Jim.
Yes, hello.
Wow.
Frank's got his speaker muted.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hi, Frank.
Yep.
Who's commissioners? Is that in the actual courtroom?
I think that's the actual courtroom with Christina.
Because there's one that says Lake County Plan Commission up here.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm on finally.
Hey, Jim.
What's up,
Oh,
Jimmy?
man.
We also have Shad. Shad is in the Lake County, is in the commissioner's courtroom, so, but I don't see any way to contact him.
You need a haircut, Ned.
Ned,
Thanks,
The bear
Dan, I
does-
appreciate that.
Hey, Ned, can you hear me?
Yeah, Frank, I hear you well.
That doesn't make you look younger.
looks like Toby Gillis.
Joe, it looks like you're a good spot.
I am in a good spot. I'm enjoying the weather.
Good.
I was gonna do the same thing, but my neighbor just started cutting his grass.
Yeah, that doesn't work real well, does it?
Oh,
Hey, Rebecca.
Hello. My neighbor is always cutting the grass, like every few days, every couple days.
Ned, you look like Toby Gillis.
Rebecca doesn't even know who that is.
Yeah,
I
know.
do.
Unfortunately.
I'm not gonna say who I think he looks like.
Either does, oh, thanks. Either does Bill. Bill probably doesn't know who that is either.
No.
See?
Toby Gillis. Yeah.
Hey, Christina, how about Shad? Can we get his voice on here somehow? Or his picture?
We don't need his picture. No.
Do we have our petitioners on? Because it's 5:33.
Yeah.
Christina's muted herself. I'm pretty sure she was going to recognize them as we call them, as well as any remonstrators who raise their hand and want to speak.
You're
Is that-
muted, Christina.
Unmute yourself, Christina. We need to talk to you.
Somebody text her.
So she can hear us.
She just doesn't want to talk to us.
I don't think so either. Oh, she's walking outside, so there's no feedback.
Okay. Can you guys
Okay.
hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just linking it to YouTube. There's a lot of attendees on, but I need to connect to YouTube so it live streams. And the webcam in the council chamber, the commissioner's courtroom, is not turning on. So I have to figure out what's going on with that. So you can see Shad and Steve.
Well, if they're here, I mean, we don't have to see them. I mean, seriously. Would that be?
Can you hear them?
No, they're muted.
No.
They're muted right now.
Okay. Then you'll just be able to hear them then.
That'd be fine.
Okay, so give me 1 second to link to YouTube and then we'll start everything.
And try to unmute the commissioner's courtroom so that we can hear Shad and
Okay. All right, I'm going back in there, okay?
perfect.
Okay.
If you guys look at your chat, we have several people that have already chatted us and said
Yeah, I
that they were
see.
here.
Yeah, I see. There's
I saw that too.
a few of them on there.
Christina, give us the thumbs up when we can start, and we can let Bill start the meeting. Joe, keep that serious look off your face.
I'm trying to figure out a
We,
couple things on my screen here.
people who are chatting in, we know you're there. I think Christina is trying to patch you into us right now.
I think the only time she will allow you to go live is when your petition comes up or when you raise your hand.
I believe that's correct. She has to control that, Christina. Where'd you say you're going, Dan?
Sarasota.
Tampa, go say hi to Brady.
I will. I will.
Okay. He went in the wrong house, they said.
Yeah, I just needed to get away, and you know, the prices were reasonable.
Yeah. How many people are at the airport?
I mean, our flight looks like it's a quarter filled right now. Looks like Phoenix and Florida locations are busy. Everything else, it's a ghost town here. Just a ghost town.
Wow, enjoy it.
Yeah. It's not going to happen anymore. Yeah.
A lot of pressure on Christina there, Ned.
Are we good to go, Christina? Unmute the, oh, commissioners are unmuted now. Is Shad there?
If I get in line to board the plane, I'm going to turn off my video, but I'll be able to hear everything.
Christina, do you know you're on mute, right?
Me?
No, Christina. You know you're on mute, right?
Are we good to go, Christina, or what? We still can't hear Shad.
Hey, Rebecca.
Yes.
While I'm thinking of it, can Joe and I have a conference call with you after this meeting?
Totally.
It's about you know, I live on the border. It's farm and suburb, and some farmers sprayed some stuff, and there's a bunch of trees got killed on our street, and we just want to talk to you about maybe you can come and help us out.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to help, or I can find someone who can.
Yeah, point us in the direction.
Totally.
And we could talk later.
Well, Rebecca, why don't you, I'll give you my cell phone number after the meeting. If you call me, then I can join in Commissioner Tippy.
Okay.
742.
You know you're gonna give it to everyone, right? I just make sure.
Yeah, we all already have it.
No, I don't want to give it to the whole crowd, though.
The petitioners and everybody.
Yeah.
You can private message me on the chat.
On this thing?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'll do that. No offense to other participants, but
I wanted them all to be calling you.
Yeah.
Do some crank calls.
Yeah, call Joe, not us.
That's a commissioner privilege. Honor and privilege.
Yeah.
Looks like we've got some hands raised in the attendees. I don't know. Now they're going away.
Yeah, I think when the new ones come on, we just need to let them know that we know they're there. We're still trying to plug them in. Is that Shad walking away? I think we just saw him.
No, I'm good. Okay,
There he is.
so
Hey, there you are.
I am out in the hallway now. The speakers are not working in there, which we did a test run. So I think maybe you guys can look at them on my laptop.
That'll be fine.
So I'll just drop out of the meeting in the commissioner's courtroom. And then Ned, oh, thank you. Ned, YouTube is not, it says we don't have permission to live stream. So, but at least people have the link.
So is this being recorded or not?
It should be recorded on Zoom,
Okay.
okay?
How are we gonna hear from Shad?
I'm gonna take my computer in there,
Okay.
okay? Okay. So,
It's a dumb question, but I just private message you, Rebecca, but how do I hit send? I don't see a send button on this thing.
okay.
Rebecca, you're muted.
Sorry, I was just about to message you. If you're on your computer, I think you just hit enter. I don't know if you're on your phone, that might be something else.
No, I'm on my computer. I hit enter. It's not going anywhere. So why don't you, I got your message. Why don't you send me your number and I'll call you and I'll call Commissioner.
Gallery view. There we go.
Okay. 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 So if you can see Shad now, right here. So I think that we can go ahead and start the meeting.
All right, then. I will call this May 20th, 2020 COVID meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. There's a flag there behind Chad. We can all look to. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay.
All right.
Can we forego the emergency exit announcements? And
Yes.
Okay,
I trust you all know how to get out of wherever you are.
You hit close. Leave meeting, it says right on the bottom.
All right, so I know we have everybody present, but this is being recorded too, so we have a record.
Is Martin here?
No.
Martin is not here.
Do you have everybody that's there, Christina? Here.
Yeah, Terrell, you have a record of
I have
everybody?
everybody, I don't have Ken Huseman, is he on?
I don't see Ken on the
Okay.
call.
Yes, I do.
He was at the Drainage Board advisory this morning, but okay. Communications.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I have several communications for you. One, this last month I sent you 3 invoices from Duncan and Associates. Payment you all verbally committed online. We'd like to make it official. One of them is dated March 1st, 2020 in the amount of $4,577.65. The second one dated April 1st, 2020 for $9,652.50. And then the third one dated May 1st, 2020 for the amount of $11,050.65. We're looking for your approval to pay the 3 invoices, although we've already started the process. They haven't gone out yet. but we would like your official approval to go ahead and pay them. So you know, Duncan and Associates has given us 2 modules of our new zoning ordinance, which the staff is still reviewing and are going to get back with the representative if possible. So we will be looking for your approval to go ahead and pay these invoices.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no. All right, passes. Thank you.
I noticed that Ken's just joined the meeting. Welcome, Ken.
Thank you for the welcome. My ponies, otherwise known as AT&T, was a little bit slow going in. Sorry, Dan.
That's all right. I'll remember that.
Yeah, the second item we have under communications is the Lake County Council. As Dan knows, the Lake County Council has sent us a proposal named Resolution 20-21 concerning amendments that they're proposing to our zoning ordinance. We would like to add, we will advertise those for our June meeting and speak to them. There are amendments concerning the solar section of our ordinance. I defer to Joe so he can tell you a little bit about it, but you'll be getting further communication from us over the next few weeks, including I will send you all a copy of the resolution so that you can take a look at it. Joe, please speak to the resolution.
That's fine. Thank you, Ned. There's a provision under the statute, under the zoning statutes, that would allow the council to make changes to the current zoning ordinance of Lake County, text only, not to the zoning maps, but text only. The council has taken that step towards amending a certain section of the ordinance regarding the use of solar panels on property. Essentially, the request is to make the use of solar panels on A1 property a part of a recognized use. What they forwarded under the statute, now we have 60 days, if I remember correctly, Ned, right? We have 60 days to hold a public hearing on the amendment issue for the zoning ordinance, not on a specific problem, but on an amendment to a zoning ordinance. So what we have coming towards us, and I wanted to get that information out to you tonight, just so we're all aware of what we're actually going to be hearing at the meeting in June regarding this petition. It would be on that amendment of the zoning ordinance and not on a specific project. It's tied to potentially specific projects, but it's not what that's not what the purpose of the meeting is. So I thought maybe maybe neighbors, people would ask. I know that, Frank and Ken have to, live with a lot of farmers, and they may be asking questions, and we want to get a little bit out, just sort of general information, and we'll get more information out to you in the future. But that's any questions you may have, go ahead and ask us.
Thank you, Joe. I mean, that's the only thing we have as of this point. We have a copy of the resolution, which we'll be getting out to you. And before next month, we'll be giving you a staff summary regarding our investigation and reporting on these amendments. The next item we have under communications are deferrals on our agenda. If you take a look at your agenda, we have under old business, item number 1, Plan Commission Petition 20-ZC-02 Indiana Land Trust, Trust number 120403. Owner and petitioner is Gary Voot, located 3/10 of a mile west of Calumet Street on the north side of 121st Avenue in Hanover Township. He's requesting a zone change from A1 agricultural to RR rural residential for the purpose of a 2-lot subdivision. The staff is requesting a deferral on that petition until next. And with that would conclude any of the any and all changes to the zone, to the agenda. That also concludes communications, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, is there a motion on the change?
Yeah, I'll make the motion. Motion to defer item number 1 of old business.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Thank you, that motion passes. I got a question for maybe Christina can message. Looks like a couple folks in the audience watching have their hands up. If you're in the audience and you raised your hand on the chat and you meant to, please leave it up. If not, please take that off the Zoom, I guess. Okay, thanks, Doug. Oh, okay, thank you. All right, that's all I had. Okay, we do have minutes.
February minutes prior to the building closure, you received them?
So Cheryl said she sent February minutes.
She said prior to the building closure, March 23rd, so.
Okay.
It's in February.
I'll make a motion to approve the February minutes.
Support.
All right, motion and a second. Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Thank you. All right, moving on to old business.
Look, moving on to old business under the agenda, item number 1 has been deferred. Items number 2 through 6 under old business and item number 1 under new business all concern Graythorn Development Subdivision. So I'll read them all. We can act on them separately and discuss the subdivision collectively. Item number 2 is Plan Commission Petition 19-W-08, Graythorn Development, LLC owner, petitioner Graythorn Subdivision, located 1/10 of a mile north of 169th Avenue on the west side of Holtz Road in Cedar Creek Township. Item number 2 is a request for a waiver from the unincorporated Lake County Subdivision Regulations, Section 4.2, Paragraph 3, concerning lot dimensions. Purpose is to allow subdivision with irregularly shaped lots. Item number 3 is same petitioner, same location. It's another waiver request from the unincorporated Lake County Subdivision Regulations, Section 4.3, Paragraph 11B, concerning cul-de-sacs designed to be permanent may not be longer than 600 feet, and the request is to allow cul-de-sacs greater than 600 feet in length. Item 4, same petitioner, same location, is another request for a waiver from the unincorporated Lake County Subdivision Regulations, Section 4.3, Paragraph 12B, concerning minimum design standards and right-of-way width of 80 feet required, 60 feet dedicated with 10-foot easement on each side of the street. What they're trying to do is to reduce the required right-of-way to 60 feet and put an easement on each side of the street. Item number 5, same petitioner, same location, is a request from the unincorporated Lake County Subdivision Regulation, Section 4.4, Item 3A1, concerning design standards. The design and of the drainage system shall be based on the following considerations: the drainage area as a whole. What they're asking to do in this thing is to allow partial engineering to be approved while waiting for the Army Corps' wetland permit. Item number 6 on page 3 is same petitioner, same location, is a request for a waiver from the unincorporated Lake County Subdivision Regulation, Section 5.31, concerning final acceptance of all streets and certain improvements is the responsibility of the Board of Commissioners. This request is to allow the subdivision with private roads, and there is quite a detailed, there are quite detailed letters in your packet from the Lake County Highway Department, which we need to discuss. And again, the purpose of this is to allow a subdivision with private roads. Under new business, item number 1, if all those waivers are granted, item number 1 is Plan Commission Petition 20-PS-04, Graythorn Development, Graythorn Subdivision, same location, and that is primary approval of a subdivision consisting of 79 lots. Usually what I say at the meeting is if the petitioner is present, please come forward and identify yourself and make your request. In this case, please raise your hand and Christina can go ahead and recognize you and activate you or unmute you, and you're more than welcome to make your presentation.
Doug, can you hear us? Oh. Is this Doug? Doug Holmeyer?
Yes.
Appears to be muted.
Right.
Anyone hear me out there now? This is Doug from that.
Doug, you got to unmute your speaker.
Doug Holmeyer? Can you hear us?
Hello?
Doug?
Yeah?
Okay, Doug's on.
Okay, can everybody hear me?
Yeah, and Doug, do you have any of your clients that I need to unmute as well?
Well, they're all here with me.
Okay, okay.
So I guess then we're ready to start our presentation. I have with me, in case anybody there, I have Mr. Bill Kreitzer with me, and I have Cassidy and Cody Dye, and also John McQuestion, as well as myself. Probably the first thing is your waiver number 5 for partial engineering. We're not wanting that anymore. We have fully engineered the entire subdivision, and we have worked due diligently with the surveyor's office to get all of our engineering approved and signed off by Mr. Emerson's surveyor's office. So for the record, we're not asking for that waiver. So if you could dismiss that. And then I guess I will go along and say that we've been working on Graythorn. This project was started approximately 2001. And as we move forward with it, certain things put us astray through the early 2000s. And then we had the 08 economy, and we did plat the 16 lots which are now there and being built on back in 2010, the June 16th meeting. And then as we were working to go forward with that, the toll road was supposed to go directly through this property, which tied it up in court for numerous years. And that is the reason behind why this has been drug out so long. Fast forward to now, we're working with all of the agencies. We have now changed it. The original subdivision, I believe, was to be 84 lots. And we have currently redesigned it. The biggest change is there will be no septic on this. We will be bringing sewer from Lowell up to the subdivision. We have gotten all our approvals through Lowell. It has all been submitted downstate. We have items approval for the complete design, and we're just waiting for primary approval of the subdivision before we would start construction of the sewer. With that being said, it will still be on wells, but the lots will all be on sewer. We left the lots quite large for being designed on sewer. There will be a total of, with the entire subdivision, of 95 lots, 16 of those which have already been platted. The sewers will extend into the previously platted portion of that, and we're looking tonight for the approval of the remainder 79 lots. As I said, we've got surveyor's office approval, and as you did state, Ned, there was lengthy items back and forth with Dwayne and the highway department. And being that if Dwayne said if the roads were to be private, his concerns were that he wanted 50-foot right-of-way along Holt's Road, which we have provided in our design, to do the shoulder and ditch improvements, the portion of the road in 165th Avenue entrance to be developed to county standards, in which all the roads in here will be developed to the county standards. So with that, we'll go now to the waivers that we're asking for. Being that it's a very unique parcel, some of the lots will be irregular due to the irregular shape of the parent parcel. We did not deviate from the original subdivision design that was designed and approved back in 2000s. The cul-de-sacs, we asked for the cul-de-sac waiver being longer than 600 feet, and we obtained that waiver along with the irregular lot shape waiver and the 60-foot right-of-way with the 10-foot easements. That also was approved back in the original subdivision, and we're just maintaining and keeping that throughout the rest of the subdivision. Then for the rest, since the subdivision was designed in the subdivision was sold on the fact that it was going to be private roads, and the fact that the original 16 lots in the phase 1 that's approved is private roads. That is the reason why we're maintaining that the remainder of the subdivision be built with the private roads. We have demonstrated over the last 10 years that, you know, the roads have held up fine, and that the POA has kept and maintained the roads, and all of that will be in place for the remainder of these roads also. And I don't know, did we have anything submitted yet on that to Mr. Irack?
We do have the covenants. Are the covenants, do you have covenants for that first section?
So we, after starting things back up in the last year, our attorney recommended that not substance-wise, but more just sort of some little legal things should be changed. So new covenants and a new document for phase 2. As far as the rules within them, everything's going to be, it's going to align with the covenants for the first phase. So Mr. Irack, I sent Mr. Irack the covenants about 2 weeks ago, I think, and it is a slightly different document, but substance-wise is very, very similar.
I do have them. One of the things that we've discussed as a staff, that if the board chooses to move forward with this project tonight, we'd like, there's some things we'd like to discuss with the petitioner in regards to these covenants. Not critical issues, but some issues we want to clarify. We'd ask the board to make that a condition of any secondary, that we get the covenants where we want them.
Also, before you continue, Doug, if somebody else is going to speak, so that makes it easier for our ability to do proper minutes, could they please identify themselves when they speak?
Yes, I apologize. That was Cassidy Dye. I'm one of the partners with Graythorn.
Thank you, Cassidy.
Thank you, Ned.
Okay, that, Doug Holmeyer again. That was a brief overview of the subdivision, where it's gone, the agency's comments, approvals. Health Department is fine with it because it will be on sanitary sewer. The sanitary sewers, once completed and accepted, will be maintained and owned by the town of Lowell. So with that, it might be easier if we turn it back over to you and answer what questions you have on this project, rather than just go on and on. So at this point, I'm going to turn it back to the Plan Commission members to ask any questions they have on this project, and we will do our best to answer them.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
One thing that I'd like to point out is, if you had, I hope everyone had a chance to look at Dwayne's letters. He reminds me of me writing all these letters, but it appears as if Dwayne has several different recommendations based on whether or not the last waiver, right? Waiver number 6, I think it was, private roads versus public roads. So he has different recommendations depending on what you decide to do with that waiver. So I would, depending on how you want to handle it, if you want to handle it and approve the waiver as private roads, then Joe and I would be interested in reviewing those covenants to make sure that we have absolutely no responsibility. As Dwayne says in his letter, if it's public, the Highway Department has several recommendations for denials on other items, on several of those other waivers. So it appears as if that waiver is paramount in your consideration. That's all I have.
Okay. Any discussion?
Joe Shad Whistler.
Yep.
A question would be if the
As I stated earlier on one of Dwayne's letters as stated that if they are to go private roads, his only concerns were that we gave 50-foot right-of-way along Holtz Road, which we did, that we do put in the shoulder and ditch improvements along Holtz Road, which most of them are in, but we will do that. And the fact that we build the roads, that any part that is in the public right-of-way will be built to county standards, and they will. So I just want to go on record again as stating that those were the only three things that Dwayne had concerns about if these roads were private. And that was his letter dated May 10th, 2019. And the same thing again, he had a letter June 11, 2019, referring to the May 10th meeting. So just to go on record stating that. Thank you, Ned.
Joe, question from Shad Whistler. Can you hear her?
Can you hear Chad? Can you hear Shad?
You can.
Yep.
I hear you.
Okay. My question is, if they're built to the county standards, but they're not accepted, do we still as a county we don't have to worry about them in perpetuity, or will sometime that come back to haunt us?
I can answer. That's what we're working on, the covenants, to make sure we have no responsibility in those. Now, Ned, if I heard you correctly, so what you're trying to do is steer the board. You want to hear the private road waiver first, because depending on that, it may have some bearing on what Dwayne says about the other waivers. Is that what I heard?
Yes, yeah, Joe. If the roads are to remain public, if the Plan Commission doesn't go the private road route, one of the waivers for cul-de-sacs greater than 600 feet, Dwayne absolutely recommends denial because he doesn't want to see private roads.
Okay.
I mean, public roads that way.
So maybe we
That's
can
correct.
make a motion to consider that number, that fifth waiver, and change the agenda and consider that first.
Yeah, there may be some other conversations over everything else on the agenda first. The only thing that I want to remind the board is private roads are fine. I don't mind the private roads, and either does Dwayne. But what inherently has happened over the years that we've been here, people move into subdivisions and they don't get the services that they want, and they end up calling Commissioner Tippy, Councilman Durnall, Bill Emerson. They'll call all the elected officials, mostly the commissioners.
And I'm ready to weigh in whenever we get a chance.
So I mean, it's fine and dandy, but yeah, I just want to say that I'm done.
Oh, I didn't mean to kick you off, Ned.
I've talked enough.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, please. This is Jerry
Yes.
Tippy.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, in fact, I had conversation with Dwayne today about the private road issue because the problem has just come up just prior to the shutdown, where a subdivision has allowed their road to deteriorate to a point where they want the county to take it over. And our policy is, and this should be in the covenants, is if you create a private road, the county is not going to take it over unless it is in brand new shape, because we don't want to take over a road to do all the maintenance that should have been done on that road for all these years. We provided a proposal to the homeowners association for what it would cost them to bring the road up to our standards, and it was significant. And one of the members of our BZA actually lives in that subdivision, and he could tell you that was it. I haven't heard back from him, so I'm doubtful. So I'm very concerned about the private roads. Dwayne has the same concern that I just talked about, so it's not limited to those three concerns. That might be what was in his letter, but he is definitely concerned about the long term and these roads being turned back over to the county in poor condition. And from what I understand, this isn't the first time this has happened. So we need some kind of reassurance. And then if I could just, on top of that, say, when these houses are sold initially, everyone is given a copy of the covenants and everybody understands what they are, and for the most part go along. my subdivision is only 15 years old, and we have people moving in now that don't follow any of the covenants. And so we need to somehow, I want some type of assurance that those covenants are going to be transferred from owner to owner. And I know that they're platted with the deeds, or, you know, and they're supposed to be pulled out, but it's not happening. I can tell you that it's not happening. And we have a lot of, what's happening is people are moving in from another state, and they're not familiar with the difference between living in incorporated and unincorporated areas. And they're getting upset with us because we're not providing, for example, we're not going to plow these roads if they're private. Now, when their road doesn't get plowed, I get the phone call because there's nobody else there to take the phone call. So, and we're going to have to tell them, we're not going to plow your road. It's a private road. Go see whoever. I don't know, but this is a problem that comes up on a regular basis. So I just want to make that point to the members of the board.
Go ahead, Ken.
Could I enter in here if I may, Mr. Chairman?
Sure.
We have one in our area. We farm alongside it, and it's private road. It's put in several, I'm going to say, give it 5-10 years ago. You probably would know it if I mentioned it to Young's on Sheffield, but it's deteriorating. We have several people I know that moved in, and they see us, they come out and they says, you know, they can't get the roads plowed. They cannot get the school buses to come down there because the roads aren't plowed, and the road is going to in the basket. Like you said, Jerry, I agree with you 100%. And I try to explain to these people, hey, you're a private road. This is, hey, you're on your own. And he said, nobody's ever told us this. Well, I know ignorance is bliss. And with all that in mind, Jerry, I relate what you're saying 110%. And with that, I don't think we should even go into that private road sector, because it just, in 10 years, it's our problem, whether we like it or not. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead. Go, Mr. Metro.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman. To go along with Jerry and Ken, not to copy what they said, but my other logic, you talk about the 10-15 years down the road. We all seen POAs deteriorate, and they exist no more for enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
And there's, like Jerry said, there's new homeowners come in, don't know a thing, and they're stuck with the bag. And then the other part that concerns me, you have Town of Lowell owned public sewers under private roads. And if they have to repair, maintain sewer taps, that's going to be a sticky issue with a private road on top of public sewers. So something else. And then you get into, like Ken said, the emergency vehicles, school buses, garbage trucks, all from non-plowing, that they don't know if they are responsible for access to all those things, not being a public road. I think it's something we really need to consider and figure out the best method to not make it private road.
And then, is that going to change any other things that we look at if we go that direction? I don't know, as far as the location of manholes, everything else. So I don't know.
Right. But that was all. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any other questions or discussion? I guess we can bring all these to the public, I suppose. Items, is everyone comfortable with 2 through 6, doing 2 through 6 to the public right now? Unless there's an objection, I'll do that.
Mayor, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Cassidy Dye would like to speak
sure.
about the roads a little bit here.
Yes, I just wanted to address a few of the things that have been mentioned. We knew going through this whole process that this was going to be a possible issue, and we've done everything that we can over the past almost 2 years of re-engineering since we started the project back up. And there's two things that I want to say. The first of which is that as we're looking at this project, we have to keep in mind that this is the second phase to a subdivision that's already platted. 5 homes are going up, and it's a continuation of that. And that community is already starting. And so all of the lots in our subdivision and all of the homes are over $500,000 lots. So the people that are buying these homes, I think, are extremely concerned about their property values. As you know, covenants are part of the closing process. Our covenants are written in a way that they run with the land. So if our current homeowners sell the lots and a new person buys them, they're given the covenants, their title work. You can't close on a lot until you agree to go, abide by the rules within the covenants. And what we're trying to do here is make a very high quality, complete subdivision. If we have an issue and it ends up only being the first phase that's successful, that means that at most there's a 16 family POA. If we have what we're hoping will end up being a 95 family POA of people who care enough about their home and enough about their community to agree to these covenants, we really believe that this will not be one of the horror stories that you've seen in the past. In addition to that, the road that we have in phase 1 right now has been there for many years, and it's in great condition. Even though it hasn't been until recently that there have been homes there, there's been a lot of traffic there for many years. And our POA dues are very low. We don't have a lot of other costs associated with the dues other than maintaining a maintenance fund. And that's something that you can get a study on, and you can see the potential issues that will come up over time, and you can have a very precise number of what you should be collecting over time so that there's always a reserve fund there. And other than that, our dues are intentionally low so that we can make sure that these issues don't come up 10 years from now. We're also willing to rework the covenants in any way that you feel reduces your liability as much as possible. That's all.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Ned.
I don't know whether Joe mentioned it or not. If you did, Joe, I'm sorry, but we did say that we would review those covenants and get back to them if this gets to the final stage. Isn't that correct, Joe?
Yeah, you said that.
You're muted, Joe, but.
Muted.
I say yes, if we do move to the final stage, we would like to make those a condition of secondary approval of staff of those covenants.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to ask one more question before you open it up. Why are you asking for private roads?
Quite frankly, to be honest with you, we feel the same way. We don't feel the same way as you in the sense that we do not foresee the same issues because we're doing everything we can to avoid that. However, because we're selling lots in phase 1 and we have 5 families who bought into a community with private roads that is intended to be gated, phase 2, the portion that we're asking for approval for now, the only way to access that is through the private roads that already exist. So unless there's a way of working around that, you have to drive through a locked gate and a private road to even access this next phase. So that's the logic behind the private roads.
The original concept, the originally fully approved subdivision, this was all approved at one time, but since 5 years lapsed and due to difficulties, the entire subdivision at one time was approved with private roads. we're just looking to continue that.
Yeah, but point of clarification, wasn't it 19 lots?
There's 16 lots existing now that are platted, but originally there was 84 lots in the original subdivision that was to be designed on septic, and the originally approved Graythorn subdivision with private roads on all of it. It was previously approved with private roads, all of it. It just didn't get built, and since all of it wasn't built and the after 5 years, you know, everything expired and we had to go back through with re-engineering it and getting primary approval reapproved. That's why we're back here now.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Weren't the original roads denied by the county because they were not the county standards when this subdivision originally started?
No.
Okay.
We worked with Wayne.
I'm in error then because I thought that they were.
No. The design was approved. Everything was approved. The county, Dwayne, you know, they were out there watching the roads go in, even though they were private, to make sure that they were, you know, built to county standards.
Mr. Chairman, what year was that first approval?
The meeting was June 10th or June 16th, 2010 is what is on the recorded plat. That was the meeting that phase 1 was approved.
Okay.
Approximately 10 years ago.
Right.
And at that time, everything was approved and reapproved with private roads. And that's when the crosstown toll road started up, in which it put the remainder of this property in the condemnation, because the toll road was supposed to go through the north end of what is the Graythorn subdivision. And that's why they couldn't continue on with the previously approved engineering and previously approved totally private roads. You know, and that's why we're just continuing on with what was previously approved by the Lake County Planning Commission.
All right. Any other comments from anyone on the commission or the petitioner before we move to the public? All right, we could still comment after, obviously, but all right, is there anyone from the public that would like to speak for or against this petition? Please raise your hand in the in Zoom if you'd like to speak. I don't see anybody.
I don't see
Okay,
anybody,
please.
and we don't have any chat or anything, so.
Okay. Anyone else, please raise your hand now if you want to speak for or against this petition. Raise your hand if you want to speak for or against the petition. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing portion and bring it back for more discussion and to the commission.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to ask for a little bit more clarification. Some of the response to my remarks got kind of left out of my transmission, but you are agreeing to build private roads to the same standard as the public road, is that correct?
Yes.
Absolutely, yes.
So you're agreeing to allow our county inspectors to inspect the road to confirm that it is to those specifications?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, how do you feel about bringing up the existing road to our specifications?
The concrete road?
The road that was, the private road that was approved 10 years ago.
But is it not, does it not meet
I'm not,
specification.
that
It
was,
should be.
that design was submitted to Dwayne and Dwayne signed off on it. So he,
Okay, but it's 10 years old, so it's gonna, here's what I'm getting at. I mean, would you consider making all of the roads in the subdivision public roads?
This is Cassidy Dye with Graythorn. We're willing to consider anything. The issue, we've had this discussion extensively. The issue is that we have sold the 5 lots that have been sold under the premise that they're private roads that are gated and locked. That's part of what our market feels brings value to the subdivision. I don't know if there's, I don't know if that's something that we feel comfortable going back on, because that would essentially be breaking the contract that we made with our current client. Forgive me, is there, I don't believe there's a way for a public road to be gated and locked, is there?
Not that I'm aware of. Yeah, not that I'm aware of.
That was
That's probably what I missed, was the gated and locked part of your response.
We're seeking approval.
Yeah.
and that's why we had to go forward with the private roads, because in the existing lots that already have homes on them and are built, we're sold with the impression that this will be a gated community. And if you reverse this and then put them to public roads, you've sold a person something that you would have to, that you can't give them anymore. Which I don't know what kind of lawsuits that opens up when you tell somebody they want to live in a private community where they just don't have riprap that can drive in at any time. And then after they've signed the agreement, bought the lot, built their house, you say, sorry, things changed. So that's the dilemma that is in, and that's why, you know, being that it was always going to be private roads from the concept back in 2001, and when we brought it to the Plan Commission early on, that was always the intention of private roads. It was fully approved with private roads, you know, and due to the unforeseen difficulty of the economy and the condemnation of the property for the toll road, you know, just gave us a few setbacks. So, you know, we're not asking for anything that was not previously approved.
Well, my preference would be for us to take a further look at the private road issue, because I talked to Dwayne today and he does have more concerns, and I'd rather have him get on record and state those concerns, so that I don't want to be the messenger to the rest of the board members on the Plan Commission. Dwayne and I talked because we have a problem we're sitting on right now with the private road issue.
Yeah, Commissioner, I would echo that as well. I'd like a chance to do that as well. In addition, a couple of Dwayne's comments on his letter, I believe, were addressed. But I just wanted, I'd support you on that.
So I guess what I'd like to first do is make a motion to move item number 6 of old business to the front of the agenda.
That's a motion?
Yeah, I would like to make that motion to move to first revise the agenda so that we can act on that. Joe, that was your recommendation, right? You want us to act on that first?
Commissioner. Yeah.
We have a motion. Is there a second? All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that motion? Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no. Okay, that motion passes.
And then, Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion to defer case 19-W-12 PC to allow a subdivision with private roads, and as part of that, that further discussion take place with our highway engineer, now that we have some different parameters that we're looking at, so.
Second motion.
Okay, motion and a second to defer number 6. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no? Opposed, no? All right, motion passes.
Doug Homeyer here again. Can you hear me?
Yes, Doug.
Would there be any way of redoing Plan Commission agenda so you could take item 7 under new business, which is also mine, which is a plat of vacation for a 2-lot subdivision, and hear that next while you have me connected?
Let us first deal with the rest of the business on Graythorn, right? I mean,
I thought you were done. I thought you deferred all the others. I'm sorry.
while we deferred was the private driveway. What does that do to us now, Joe? Does that make all the others subject to deferral as well?
Well, let's ask the petitioner. Hey, Doug,
Yes.
with that deferred, I'm assuming you would want the remaining items deferred, because I would assume that's critical to some of the other issues.
You could vote on the other ones. I mean, at this point, the irregular lot, the right of way, those really have no bearing on whether it's a public or private road. Obviously, I'm not sure what you'd want to do with the cul-de-sac length.
That one would have to be deferred.
Yeah.
And a big cigar.
Ned, you said that's the one, Dwayne's comments, whether it's public or private, have a lot to do with the cul-de-sac request, correct?
Just easy to defer everything on the agenda and bring it back after they resolve the road issue.
I agree. Can I make a motion to include them all, Joe, or do I have to do them one at a time?
Why don't we do it just as a group, just because of the circumstances we're in right now?
All right, so I'm gonna make a motion to defer old business items 2, 3, 4, and new business item 1.
And 5, 2?
We can, but I mean, I was gonna make a motion just to delete that. I mean,
yes.
So,
okay.
So 2, 3, 4 of old business and item 1 of new business deferral.
Is there a second? Oh, Jim seconded, right?
Yeah.
Second. Oh, I thought you did. Okay, thank you. All right. Well, a forced second. All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no. Thanks. Sorry about that.
Okay, and then I would like to make, if I could, Mr. President, I would like to make a motion to, what's the proper term? Delete, or I don't want to deny it. I mean, we want to.
How about if we withdraw?
Yeah.
Withdraw. I'll make a motion to withdraw. Thank you.
Second.
Okay, motion and second. Any discussion? Any discussion? Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Okay, thank you.
Okay, now, Mr. President, if I could make a motion to move item 7 of new business to the front of the line and to take it next. That's a motion.
Second.
And a motion and a second to hear number 7 of new business. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Thank you.
Okay. If I could just interrupt really quickly, we are going to try one more time to let the panelists in here. Just very quickly, if you hear some feedback, don't worry about that. It will stop shortly. Okay, so give me 1 second here. Doug from Data came in, and I think he fixed everything. Here we are. Okay. You guys are logging in. Unmute you. All right, and let me get out of here. So now you should be able to see this. Okay, can you hear us in here now?
Clearly.
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay, I'm sorry about the interruption.
Okay, so moving on, item number 7, Plan Commission petition.
We can't hear anybody. No.
We can't hear them.
Somebody say something.
Can you hear us?
Oh,
I was
hello.
trying.
Bill, can you hear us at all?
We can hear you.
No, we're not getting anything.
Are they muted?
Christina, can you hear us?
I can hear you now out in the hallway.
Well, they can't hear us, and we need to move on. This is getting a little lengthy. So
Okay, well, if it's fine, if you can just see them on my laptop, though.
that's gonna have to do.
Okay, then I'll just leave the meeting with you. Doug, can you just leave the meeting then? Okay.
Yeah, well, Christina, you still need to host the meeting, right? Christina?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, you gotta mute one of those.
We need to leave the meeting. Okay, all right.
You still need to host the meeting, right? And so we can see, so you can see if there are any remonstrators or petitioners, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll move on. Item number 7, Plan Commission petition 20-VAC-01, Doug Williams, owner and petitioner, Grandview Estate subdivision located 0.6 of a mile west of White Oak on the north side, on the south side of 165th Avenue, also known as 13511 West 165th Avenue in West Creek Township. The petitioner is requesting a plat of vacation of Grandview Estates for the purpose of vacating an existing subdivision. If the petitioner's around, please raise your hand and we will bring you in to make your request.
Bill, I can already hear you, and I'm the petitioner for Mr. Williams.
Go ahead, Doug.
Mr. Williams originally divided his property into 2 lots because he was going to have his daughter live on lot 2. And due to unforeseen difficulties in the family and the health issues, his daughter will not be moving there or building a house. Mr. Williams lives on lot 1, and he requested to have me just vacate the plat, take his property and put it back the way it was and get rid of the second lot. And I said, yeah, I will do that for you. So I'm here before you tonight asking that we vacate the 2-lot subdivision and that Mr. Williams' property will just revert back to what it was prior to the 2-lot subdivision. Grandview Estates. And I guess as demonstrators, that's all I have on it, plain and simple.
Okay. Anyone, any questions before we do public?
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Hey, Doug, was there any platted easements for anything?
No.
Okay. No further questions.
All right.
No.
Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak for or against this petition? Please raise your hand. Now. All right. Is there anyone that would like to speak for or against this petition? All right. Seeing none, the public hearing is closed. Bring it back.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you all again for allowing to move that up to.
Thanks, Doug. Have a good night.
No problem, Doug.
Moving on.
You got a date, Ned? You got a date or what?
Yeah.
No, but I'm sure all the people that thought that the BZA would start at 6 are a little bit.
Your nose hair.
Oh.
Anyway, moving on, item number 2 under new business. Plan Commission Petition 20-W-04, Paul McDonald, owner and petitioner, McDonald's Acres subdivision located northeast quadrant of the intersection of 151st Avenue and Magoon Street in West Creek Township, is requesting a waiver from the unincorporated Lake County subdivision regulations, section 4.3, paragraph 12C, street improvements, appendix D, shoulder and ditch improvements. The purpose of item number 2 is to waive the requirement for 8-foot shoulder and ditch improvements along Magoon Street. Item number 3 is also part of this request. We could hear them both and act on them separately. Item number 3 is Plan Commission Petition 20-PS-03, same owner, same location, and it is a request for primary approval of a 1-lot subdivision. If the petitioner's around, please raise your hand and we will recognize you.
Hold on one second. We have a hand up now. Yep. Paul, can you hear us?
Yes, we could hear you.
Okay, do you know, is Glenn on?
Glenn, I talked to Glenn yesterday. He was supposed to be in this meeting as well. I did not talk to him this evening, but him and I had a lengthy talk yesterday, so I could only assume he was on here too as well.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, I see him. Okay. He's just under a different name. Hold on one second. Okay. Glenn, are you there?
Muted.
I'm here. I'm here.
Yep. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Very good. Hello, everyone.
Greetings.
In case everybody's wondering, I'm using my daughter's computer. So I'm Angela's.
You're ready to roll, right?
I think so. Yep, we're good.
They're making their presentation, right, Ned?
Go ahead, guys.
Glenn?
Yes, go ahead, Paul.
Okay, should I start or you? I didn't know if you
Yeah,
wanted
go
to-
ahead and I'll follow you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Well, first and foremost, we're getting our, we petitioned to have our primary plat approved for the property that we're going to build a home on. And one of the other items we're talking about tonight is the waiver. And basically our concern is on Magoon Street, it's a gravel road. And there's really not, and I talked to Dwayne about this a few times at the highway department, but there's really not a defined edge of the road. Because if you stood on 151st Avenue and you look north on Magoon Street, you would see that the gravel in that really flares out at our property. So if they're asking for an 8-foot shoulder and ditch, it's really hard to see where those lines are defined at this moment. Another concern is that unfortunately a lot of people go down that road and dump trash in that. And I mean, one of our concerns is we're giving them some more property in which to dump trash on. I mean, because it happens quite a bit on that road. So that's two. The other thing is I mean, there's some real nice trees and a nice steep slope on that road. And it's a nice screen on that gravel road as far as for dust and that type of thing. It's a nice border now because we would have to dig into that kind of a steep slope. The other thing is that road's not very well traveled. I mean, there's a home maybe a quarter mile north of 151st, but really, I mean, it's not really a traveled road. And to put shoulder and ditch improvements in that, I mean, I have no problem whatsoever. Of course, we're going to do it on 151st, which we have nearly 500 foot of frontage on that road. But the 260 some feet on Magoon, we're asking that we do not have to do shoulder and ditch improvements at this time. I mean, for those couple reasons. I hope I wasn't too confusing, but I mean, that's what we were thinking.
Can I add something now?
Yeah, please.
All right. I guess the number one thing is that's basically Magoon is a gravel road, and it's about a half mile north to where it turns into asphalt. And from what I've noticed is that I think that a lot of people that live north on the asphalt road would prefer going north on the asphalt out to 41 rather than driving the half mile of the gravel road in the mud and dust and everything. And the other thing is Paul already brought up is the fact that there's a lot of trees and kind of brush along the gravel road on Magoon that if we were in a steep slope, so if we were required to do the 8-foot shoulder, then we would have to cut trees down, cut into the slope, and it would be kind of a big project. And also those trees and brush, I think, kind of cut down and catch the dust and everything from the road. So it makes kind of a nice buffer. And we also, if it's approved, either way, we're going to plat a no access strip along the total stretch of Magoon so that this lot will never access Magoon Avenue. So those are my comments.
But so, I mean, besides that, I guess I really don't have anything else to say. It's just a matter of, I did talk to Dwayne a couple times in his office about it. And, you know, we did talk about the fact that there would be no access on that road, which is perfectly fine with us because we're going to build one home on that nearly 3 acres, and our driveway is going to be on 151st Avenue and not Magoon. So that's absolutely fine with us. I mean, if that is so granted, that we will never ask for access or have access on Magoon Street. It'll just be a nice border to a gravel road and maybe someday an asphalt road.
And you're okay with the intersection being cut back on Magoon?
Yeah, that's the other thing. I'm sorry, I failed to mention that. Yes, because Dwayne did ask for that, and I do understand that because we would cut that back a little bit because that way whoever is pulling out, traveling south on that gravel road and is going to go east or west on 151st, they would have a lot better line of sight pulling out into traffic. So yes, we are planning on cutting down some of that corner, and Dwayne would approve that, you know, or kind of go over it with us prior to doing the actual cutting in, and to make sure that we're all on the same page as far as making sure we're cut back far enough. And that's all that's what I have to say about that, but we certainly are willing to do that.
Okay. Do we need a public hearing here, Joe, on a waiver? Yeah.
Yeah, you need to re-advertise.
Sorry. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. All right. Then is there anyone from the public that would like to speak for or against this petition? Anyone in the public that would like to speak for or against this petition? Anyone in the public that would like to speak for or against this petition, please raise your hand. Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the commission. I think Jim had a point.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a question, comment. Ned, Joe, Jerry, since you guys are the men that deal with it more than the regular commission members. Down the road, if Magoon Street would be paved the rest of the way and they would have to incorporate at that point ditch and county spec ditch and swale, would that hinder anything with this first piece off of 151st not being improved? Or is it actually a better thing that they do it all at once if that road ever gets paved through that gravel section?
I don't think it'll matter, Jim. I think that if they decide to pave that road, there's going to be a basically a reconstruction, including, you know, drainage and so forth. So I don't think it's a problem.
Okay, but I do agree with the petitioner. I mean, Kenny and I can probably look out our windows and see that corner. It is not heavily traveled, except for, like the petitioner said, there is some fly dumping back there, and probably just farm travel is about it, because everybody else does go out to the north on the asphalt section, which county did a good job of repaving those roads, I think last year. So I agree with the petitioner on the low travel of that section. That was all. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Ken?
Yes, I'd have to kind of go along with what Jimmy's saying, and also what Mr. McDonald is saying on clearing the brush. To be honest with you, clearing the brush and making that would, I would say, entice more people to go down that road. The garbage dumping, several years ago, we had worked with Cedar Lake Police Department in terms of, let's say people were marijuana pots and things like this. And so I'm kind of glad if they're going to open up the corner a little bit. Yes, it's with the slope of the road there. Yes, you have to pay attention. I'm glad that they're going to put their entrance to their lot off of 151st. That would be a no-brainer. And so, yes, I would have to go along with this whole 1, 2, and 3.
Okay. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve. Number 1, is it? Which is it, Ned?
It'd be number 2.
2.
Number 2.
All right, and that is that subject to the conditions in the highway department letter?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Subject to the highway departments.
All right. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion of waiver.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion on it? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no. And the motion passes. Thank you.
Okay, then if I could go ahead and go on with the primary plat approval. We basically are taking a vacant lot right now that's sitting there right next to houses to the east, and there's subdivisions to the south and west. So the use is prevalent with what's going on. And also, we've met the requirements of all the agencies. We have agency approval for the health department, surveyor's office for drainage, and SCS. And also, we're working with, of course, Dwayne on the improvements along the road. So with that said, we're requesting primary plat approval.
All right, I don't know how clear it was with the last public hearing, but if there's anyone in the public that would like to speak for or against the petition, please raise your hand. Anyone like to speak for or against the petition, please raise your hand.
So we have a phone number that called in,
Okay.
and I don't recognize the number, so I'm gonna give them permission to talk real quick, if that's okay.
Thank
And
you.
we can just make sure. Hi, can you hear us? The phone number that ends in 1268?
No, I cannot.
Yes.
I can hear you on my telephone.
Okay.
But I don't feel like I'm participating. Can you see me?
Right, so which petition are you calling in for?
He's not. That's Jim Kazmarek from the BZA.
Perfect. Okay, well then we will see you at the next meeting. Okay?
Do you have any thoughts on Paul McDonald's?
I muted him. So we're back online here.
That's funny.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve primary approval for 20-PS-03 PC.
Second.
And there's a second. Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And that passes. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yep. Thank you very much to the Plan Commission. We appreciate the opportunity to talk. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Okay, moving on, item number 4, Plan Commission Petition 20-FS-02 of Emerald Crossing Development LLC and Emerald Crossing Farms owners and Olthoff Homes petitioner. This would be Emerald Crossing Subdivision Unit 8, located at the southeast quadrant of the intersection of 101st Avenue and State Line Road in Hanover Township. They are requesting final subdivision approval for a 26-lot addition to their subdivision. Petitioners online, please raise your hand and we will recognize you.
Wait a second, we have a hand that went up. Let me just go through and find that. There we go. Jeff, can you hear us? Oh,
Yes, I can hear you.
okay. So Jeff is on with us. Can Jeff go ahead and state his petition?
Sure. This is Jeff Yatsko with Olthoff Homes. We are seeking final subdivision approval on Emerald Crossing Unit 8. It's 26 lots. These are the lots that are situated up near 101st. And the 26 lots include 25 lots, which are our duplexes, and then it includes the commercial lot that's at the corner of State Line and 101st Avenue. We have all of our approvals from Health, Surveyor, and Highway. So we're just seeking to get final plat approval tonight.
Jeff, is the commercial lot the lot where the gas station is going?
Yes, that's correct. I believe we have a contract with the gas station, and upon approval of this plat, then they can move forward with their plans and petition for what they have planned at that corner. We are not developing that corner. We would be selling that lot.
Thank you, Jeff.
And they're required to get a special exception?
That's correct.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion for approval for the final subdivision approval request.
All right.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. And that passes. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for being patient. Moving on, item number 5, Charles Wussmuller, Plan Commission Petition number 20-FS-03. Again, Charles Wussmuller, owner and petitioners, Harper's Woods Subdivision, located approximately 1 mile south of 197th Avenue on the east side of Woodmar Street in West Creek Township. This is a request for final subdivision approval of a 1-lot subdivision. If the petitioner is out there, please raise your hand and we will recognize you.
Okay, can you hear us? Is this Charles?
This is Glenn.
Glenn, okay.
I'm representing Chuck again, Glenn Crotch.
Okay.
So basically, we're requesting final approval on this plat. We've met all the agency's approvals, and I believe that the Plan Commission actually gave administrative approval to it a month or so back. And basically what we're looking for is the board to affirm their motion to approve.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the final subdivision for 20-FS-03 PC.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no. And that motion passes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. It's been an interesting experience.
Yes.
Say that again.
Okay, moving on, item number 6, Plan Commission Petition 20-ZC-03, Mark and April Squirts, owner and Maria Middleton, petitioner, located 0.2 of a mile east of Cleveland Street on the south side of 52nd Place, also known as 1901 West 52nd Place in Calumet Township. The request is for a zone change from R2, one family zone, to B3 general business zone for the purpose of wholesale merchandise storage. If the petition is online, please raise your hand and we'll recognize you.
There's 2 hands up. Maritza, can you hear us? Okay, Maritza is muted. Hold on. Okay, Maritza?
Yes.
Okay, and we have one more. Is April?
April's right here.
Okay, let's allow April in. April, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Okay. Oh. Sorry, I was on mute.
Okay, so we have Maritza Middleton, and then who else?
April Squirts.
It was Squirt. Okay, perfect. So we have owner and petitioner.
Okay. Do you want to say what you want to do with the property and what you're asking tonight?
Yeah, I just want to put 2 semis on there. That's it. I just want to make it a parking lot. I'm going to put a privacy fence around there too, so you don't see nothing.
Okay. Any questions for the petitioners before we bring to the public?
Yeah, how big a area are we talking about here?
I'm sorry, what?
How big is this, an acre or 2 acres, or how big is it?
It's less than an acre. I think it's a half acre.
Huh?
My business is directly across the street.
Okay. Any other questions before we bring to the public?
No, sir. No.
Okay. Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak for or against this petition? Anyone from the public that would like to speak for or against this petition? Or anyone in the public that would like to speak for or against this petition?
Mr.
Please
Chairman?
raise your hand. Yeah.
Yes, I don't know if anyone raised their hand, but I do have a rather lengthy letter of remonstrance from a petitioner. I think if you read your summary, you'll see that our comprehensive plan calls for this to remain neighborhood residential, but I will read the letter. It's probably about 20 lines. It says, pertaining to the application of Mark and April Squirts for zone change from R2 to B3, Deer Lake County Plan Commission, we are Carl and Mary Page, 1801 West 52nd Place in Maryville, and are the owners of parcels number blah, 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 and the legal description. We have lived here since June of 1972, raised our 2 children here. We all remember the train going by, which is where the bike path is now. There were good things about this location and some very bad things, businesses. Our property has constantly been trounced. The whole street stays waterlogged, and there's only one way out, dead end. We have been blocked in and blocked out twice by those monster salt and plow trucks and many other conditions. We are opposed to any added businesses on our street. They will only end up in shambles and cause blockage to Cleveland Street. Great Lakes Trucking was an owner a few years, burned their building almost down. Our property is our main concern besides the safety and accessibility to our homes for all who live on 52nd Place. I suppose a petition from everyone would have helped. Please check the aerial view and included in my photos, which is included in her letter. And one more thing, there is not even one street light on 52nd Place. It's pitch black at night, and we have always suffered from dumpsters. Hope this effort helps to keep that property zone residential and not commercial. and that will surely negatively impact our property. Sincerely, Carol and Mary Page.
Can I say something?
Not right now. We're gonna ask if there's anyone else from the public that would like to speak, and I still don't see any hands, so we will wait, I see a hand.
I see it. Okay, let's look at that.
Oh, man, that was right at the last minute. Good,
Oh.
John Jurisa.
John, can you hear us?
Hello.
John, okay, John's with us.
Yeah, I'm the realtor helping these two folks out, and the Squirts have maintained that lot over the years, cut the grass and everything. The property to the west is owned business already. The property to the east that I think the remonstrator owns is way overgrown, and the only decent lot in there is the one in question here.
Can I say something?
Hang on one second. I'll let Mr. Jurisa finish his comment, and then yes.
No, I'm finished.
Okay.
The place is in good shape, and I'm sure Maritza will keep it in good shape too.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else from the public that would like to speak for or against this petition?
Yeah, I just wanted to say,
Well, hang on. You're the petitioner, so we'll let you follow up, okay?
all right,
I just want to make sure that there's no one else waiting to speak. Doesn't appear to be, so I'm going to close the public hearing. The public hearing is closed, and go ahead, Ms.
Hello?
Squirts.
yeah. Hold on, I can't talk to you now. I'm on the phone with a zoning committee. I can't talk. Goodbye.
I love this.
Sorry, guys.
All right. No, all I wanted to say is the man that's objecting to this, I saw him taking pictures up and down the street. He talked about Great Lakes Towing. That's property on the north side of 52nd Place. And it belongs to Larry Vickery now, but it's also business property and always has been, because my husband did business with Great Lakes Towing when they were occupying those properties. So everything on the north side practically down as far as 1801, that's all right business. And the two lots, the lots right off of Cleveland, my husband and I sold them about 5 years ago. Business lots. And the next lot that Mr. Teresa told you about, that's business. For the one that we're trying to sell to Maritza, for that to be business would not be objectionable, because there's nothing from his place up to the street that's Anyway,
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm done.
Ned or Christine or somebody, is there any screening requirement here, or what are we doing? They said they want to put up fences.
It all depends on the adjacent properties. I'll let Christine answer.
Well, we have screening requirements for any properties surrounding that are zoned residential.
That'd be to the east and south.
A lower intensity use, there's requirements. And Steve said.
Okay, so that's already there.
The east and south,
East
correct?
and south.
Okay.
Everything to the east is vacant and it's overgrown.
It's zoned R2.
But it has a residential zoning.
So if I was
And
to
to
get
the
the,
south, right?
I would put lights on.
Okay. Mr. Metro.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have two points. Number one, is there any road restrictions? I remember a case we had a year or so ago in that unincorporated northern townships or this is Cal Township, but where there were road restrictions. Is there any large truck road restrictions on this road?
No.
That were Ned, anybody aware of?
Dwayne had no objection, but he doesn't.
I'm not aware of that road.
I'm sure Cleveland isn't, but possibly the 52nd place might have any kind of truck restrictions. But the other thing being, is there any way we could make this this zone change conditioned to this petitioner, so it doesn't stay with the property permanently?
No. They would have.
There may be weight restrictions on 52nd on the road also. We'd have to check with Dwayne to make sure.
Okay.
But to answer your question, Jim, no, we couldn't limit it just to this usage. It would run with the land.
It would run permanently with the land from here on.
Right.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, question for the petitioner.
Sure.
She's gonna park, you're gonna park 2 semis there?
Yes, sir. I got
Loaded
two.
or unloaded, or I'm not following?
For storage for the flea market, they're gonna be loaded, but just the trailer.
Just the trailers.
Yeah, I understand. That's why he's asking about the weight. They'll be fully loaded coming in?
Probably, yeah, because they're already full.
Can you have any idea what the weight would be that you're carrying?
Well, if they're full length semi trailers, legal weight is like 72,380.
Exactly, yeah.
So you're talking 35 ton. Two 35-ton trucks permanently in and out of that road, which, I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of it. If it's got water problems and got deterioration already, we're giving them a free pass for
Well, they still have to abide by the road restrictions regardless of the zoning, but I hear what you're saying. If we're implied,
We may want to take a look at this. We may want to have Dwayne take a look at this. I mean, the request is for wholesale merchandise storage. We didn't realize anything about the semi.
Right, but I appreciate the petitioner's candor and informing us, but now that that's in front of us, we maybe need to look at the road if there is any pertinent road restrictions.
Mr. President, I would say there's at least a 50% chance that there is a weight limit on there. Most of those roads up there do have some kind of restriction on them. So I'm not familiar with which road it is, but only the main roads really flow through. But I would say, I agree. I think we should at least check that out and then come back.
Okay. Is there a motion in there?
I'll make a motion to defer to the next meeting.
All right.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. All right, it's deferred. Thank you.
So moving on, we move on. Item number 7, we've already heard. So we're moving on to item number 8, Plan Commission Petition 20-SE-01, Crown Point Community School Corporation owner and petitioner, located approximately 0.3 of a mile south of 129th Avenue on the west side of Montgomery Street, also known as 13126 and 13128 Montgomery Street in Winfield Township. Their request is for a special exception from the unincorporated Lake County zoning ordinance, section 2.10, paragraph A3, concerning educational institutions. This is to allow for an addition and other site improvements at the Winfield Elementary School. If the petitioner is online, please raise your hand and we will recognize you and hear your petition.
So I know Turinga Engineering is, there we go. I think they just raised their hand. Hold on one second. Don? Oh.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so Don Turinga is with us. We have one more. Don, are any of your clients from the school system on with us?
There was supposed to be, but I'm not sure. I have no way of checking that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see any other hands up and no chat messages, so.
Don, we have full faith that you can handle this.
I'm sure I can. Are you ready?
She can walk by, they're not gonna see you.
Okay, what we're doing here is this is the Winfield Elementary School, as Ned said. It's on Montgomery Street. It is in unincorporated Lake County. However, it has a Crown Point address. They want to add to the school and do a new addition on what would be the southwest corner. They also want to add to the east side of the school, improving the entrance and also adding some area for some offices, and they want to improve the parking lot. We've gone through a lengthy process in which we've gotten all the approvals from the county regarding the stormwater pollution prevention plan. Everybody signed off. The health department, the Lake County Highway Department has signed off. Unfortunately, before the project can start, there is this special exception that is necessary. And then I believe we were told by the Plan Commission that the building permit is already in the process and it can be issued by the Plan Commission without having to attend another meeting. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Yeah, we would still have to approve all the stormwater and all the other issues.
That's all been approved. Everything was submitted. Frank Stewart sent a letter approving everything. So that was done. This was actually supposed to have been on the January meeting. And for some reason, it didn't get on January because I think the Crown Point School Corporation wanted to have it passed at their Crown Point School Board meeting. Unfortunately, their school board meeting happened after the coronavirus, so that's why we've been put back so far. The contract has been awarded. Larson Danielson is itching to get going.
Mr. Chairman, we've been working with them on their permitting process. Steve, how far along are they? Have they done everything they needed to do?
They're very, very close to being completed. They did send us the site development plan approval, which had all the approvals that Mr. Tringa is speaking of. I think this is pretty much the last thing they're going to have before, they finalize. A couple items are missing on their permit application, but they're very, very close to having that issued if they get the blessing this evening from both the Plan Commission and the BZA.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Any other discussion before we bring it to the public? All right. Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak for or against this petition? Anyone from the public that would like to speak for or against this petition? Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak for or against this petition? All right. Hearing none, the public hearing is closed. We'll bring it back to the commission.
If everyone will remember, this is a recommendation to the BZA.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion. I'll make the motion for a favorable recommendation.
I'll second.
All right, motion and a second. Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no. And the motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We have our last item on the agenda, which is item number 9. I'd like to thank everybody for being patient with us during this meeting. Usually these things last about 40 minutes, so it's been 2 hours almost. Anyway, moving on.
2 months worth of stuff though, right?
Yeah, it is. Item number 9.
Yeah.
Plan Commission Petition 20-SC-03, Clearview Tower Company owner and Viastat Incorporated petitioner located 0.3 of a mile north of 165th Avenue on the west side of Grant Street, also known as 16290 Grant Street in Cedar Creek Township. This request is for a special exception from the unincorporated Lake County zoning ordinance, section 2.10A6 concerning public service. The purpose is to allow an internet satellite node site. If the petitioner is present, please raise your hand and we will recognize you so that you can present your petition.
You have a hand up. Randy, can you hear us?
Yes, ma'am. I just unmuted. How are you guys?
Randy
Hello?
Jones is on with us now. And
Does everybody can hear me fine?
Anybody else with you, Randy?
No, ma'am. It's just me at my home.
Okay.
For the record, my name's Randy Jones. I'm the senior site development project manager for Viasat, and we're here before you to put a satellite access node at what we call Clearview Tower. Also, we call it the Adams Radio Tower. As Ned said, it sets off of Grant Street. It consists of one 6-foot diameter dish on a pole with 2 support cabinets, we'll call them, and then one cabinet that the small, what we call oscillator. It feeds into a fiber line that feeds to the satellite access node, and then power is brought in. We will access the site from the existing driveway that goes up to the AM tower now, and we'll bring in our own small driveway to the site as the plans show. It's surrounded by a chain link fence, and then we're able to monitor that from our NOC here in Denver, where I'm at today. We're asking to recommend approval to the BZA, which is the next meeting, I do believe. And this satellite access node works with hundreds of others that we're building throughout the United States. I get a lot of questions because people are used to my former world, which is the wireless world. We are not wireless in the aspect that you're not going to be able to use your telephone off of it. But it does provide a high-speed broadband internet service through a satellite system that will be launched in 2021. This will be synced with many others, like I said, throughout the United States, feeding mostly services to rural areas throughout America. Now, people in the urban areas could use it too, but traditionally our customer base is with the rural areas. But our speeds will be comparable to Comcast or whoever other your cable companies are, due to the fact that ours is directly hooked into a fiber line. So we do ask you to approve this, or to recommend that this special exception be approved by the BZA, and I will close with that to answer any questions you have about our site.
Mr. President, I have a question for Mr. Jones.
Sure.
First question is, this would make internet available to anyone in South Lake County that is looking for it?
Yes.
And are you limited in your ability to provide service? I mean, can you provide service to that kind of quantity?
Yeah, we can provide service once the network is up to anybody in the United States. It'll cover the whole United States, the satellite.
The entire United States. So it's part of a network of satellites.
Part of a network of satellite access nodes with one satellite, all of them feed into.
When do you plan to go online with this?
We will launch our satellite in the summer of 2021. We plan to start construction on this site June of this year, the next month.
Just as a private comment, I wish you'd hurry.
Yeah.
I have 2.5 speed on DSL.
Oh, well, we'll cream that. I can feel very assured of that.
All right, I guess I'll take it to the public unless there's any other questions. Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak for or against this petition? Anyone from the public that would like to speak for or against the petition? Anyone from the public that would like to speak for or against the petition, please raise your hand. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Bring it back.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to accept.
Okay.
Favorable.
Was there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. discussion? Mr. Metro,
Question. Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sorry, you guys were pretty quick. I heard his description. I didn't really catch the heights of the dish or any of the supporting structure. I mean, is there any height issues with drop zones or shadow flickers or anything else we need to take into effect?
Oh, that's a good question. We'll be sitting about 8 feet off the ground total.
Okay,
top of the dish.
that's plenty low then for any of those issues. That was all. Thank you.
All right. Any other discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Thank you. That motion passes. Favorable.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Like to let everybody know, I'd like to thank everybody for their patience, and I would like to let everybody know that's on this link that we will be convening the BZA meeting shortly after the Plan Commission meeting ends. So please don't, for those of you waiting for the BZA, please don't hang up or disconnect.
And we'll be doing a replay later to determine whether Councilman Durnell gets credit for this meeting, right? Complete game.
He did have a mask on.
All right. Is there a motion to adjourn? We have a motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Thank you, everybody.
All right.
There you go.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, Rebecca, Commissioner Tippy and Rebecca.
Gonna keep going.
Yeah, just go ahead and plug me in.
I got this BZA meeting.
I appreciate
Oh,
it.
Right now.
call me tomorrow. Call me tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow.
We'll get a hold of you tomorrow. We'll do the conference call tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah,
Sounds
I'm good
great.
tomorrow.
I have all my
Okay.
resources ready.
Thank you for
All right,
coming.
sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, great. Thank you. All right. I'm leaving the meeting.
Kind of worked.
It will.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Okay, Christina, kick these guys off and put the other guys on.
I know, I'm gonna get everybody going.
It's been a small part of heaven. Muy poquito.
Well, I know we've got Jim on. I know we've got both Jims on. We've got Frank and who are we missing?
Let me do this one thing here. Is Adam here? Let's see, I'm gonna elevate everybody to panelists, all of our members. All right. So we have, Jim is still with us. Ken. Ken is still with us, but
Yeah.
well,
But then I turn it over and use it for something else.
I don't.
Put it in the printer backwards.
Okay.
Take care.
Have a good evening. Jim is with us. Mark is with us. Is Frank still with us?
Yes, I am.
Frank's still here, okay.
I don't know where Adam was. Adam said he was going to get on.
Well, he might be on. I'm just still going through everyone. Here's Adam. He's here.
Perfect. This is Steve's baby now.
I'm on. I'm taking a water closet break and refilling my water, and I'm close.
Okay, so Adam, are you with us now? Oh, Adam's muted. Hold on a sec. Yep. Adam, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Adam?
You guys move on. I'm gonna be gone for a few seconds here.
Okay. I think we still need a few minutes, so Ned and Steve. And then Jim. Jim.
You guys get it all done?
Okay. Jim. Jim, can you hear us now? Jim K. Oh, you're muted. Jim? Can you hear
I
us?
can hear you. Yes, I can, but I can't. Can you see me?
No. I can't see you, but I can hear you. Yep, now I can see you.
Oh. All right.
Okay, so we have our full board present. So we're ready. Joe stepped away for a second, but he said go ahead, I guess, and start. So
Not the
I know, I'm
Center for
sorry.
Disease Control.
But okay.
Fogs up, doesn't it? Yeah.
I can put mine on too. Yeah, I'll put mine on. Mine broke, so mine's good.
What?
They're
Yeah.
Are we ready? All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order. The BZA meeting for Wednesday, May 20th. Everybody rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one God, indivisible,
As with the Plan Commission meeting, there's no need to read the emergency announcement.
Record of those present. Yes. We didn't have minutes. Okay. Everybody got their minutes?
So let me make sure. Did everyone get their minutes?
Yes.
Yes.
Have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve minutes as written.
Second, Adam Fedak.
I have a motion and a second. In favor by saying aye.
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 All those opposed say no. Anything under communication, Steve?
Under communication. Send up. Thing is new business. So item number 11 under new business petition 11. It's 20-B-17. Randall Hutchinson, Michael Hutchinson. Outdoor advertising is the petitioner. At the intersection of 117th Avenue and Boulevard. Section 9.5A4, advertising devices. No advertising devices shall be permitted within 300 feet of a dwelling or land planted or divided for residential use. School, church, park, or place of public assembly. Of construction of outdoor advertising structure within 300 feet of a dwelling unit. The attorney representing the petitioner, Attorney Weezer, has requested to defer this until next month's meeting, which will be on the 17th of June. The other amendment to the agenda is item 23 at the very end of our new business portion of the agenda. It's petition number 20-UV-01. Lake County Commissioners are the owners and Lamar Advertising is petitioner. The property is located approximately 4/10 of a mile east of State Line Road on the south side of 101st Avenue in Hanover Township. The request is to bring some use from the unincorporated county zoning ordinance section 9.5 signs and advertising devices. And the purpose is to allow an off-premise billboard that's existing in the 101st right-of-way. Staff is requesting to throw on this item, and this will be back on the agenda for the meeting on June 17th. I believe that concludes communications. Yes.
Okay, and so there's no old business?
Well, do we want to take a motion on that amendment?
Yes.
To approve that amendment to those petitions?
I have a motion on those amendments on those petitions.
I'll make a motion to approve the amendments as read.
I have a second.
Second. I'll second it.
All those in favor by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, no. Motion passed. On to new business.
Number 1, which was just heard by the Planning Commission, petition number 20-SE-01, Crown Point Community School Corporation is the owner and petitioner. The property is located approximately 3/10 of a mile on 129th Avenue on the west side of Montgomery Street, also known as 13126 and 13128 Montgomery Street in Winfield Township. The request is a special exception from the unincorporated Lake County zoning ordinance, section 2.10A3, educational institutions. The purpose is to allow an addition and other site improvements at Winfield Elementary School. And I believe it was Turinga that's presenting this to us.
So Mr. Turinga on.
Okay. Let's see, Don, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
My name is Don Toringa. I'm with Toringa Engineering. I'm representing the Crown Point School Corporation this evening. The school is actually called the Winfield Elementary School. It's quite a bit south in unincorporated Lake County, but it's under the jurisdiction of the Crown Point School Corporation. They would like to add a three additions, excuse me, to the building and improve the parking lot. All of the improvements have been submitted to Lake County and everything has been approved. We are awaiting this special exception and the issuance of the building permit so that the contractor Larson Danielson can begin construction. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Do I have any questions from the board? Seeing none, I'll take this to the public. Do we have anybody to speak for or against? Do we have anybody to speak for or against? Do we have anybody to speak for or against? Seeing none, I will bring this back to the board. Any other discussion from the board?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the request.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
I'll second it.
All those in favor by saying aye? Aye.
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 Anybody not approving this by signifying by saying no? Motion passed.
Okay, moving right along. Thank you. Item number 2 is petition number 20-SE-03. Clearview Tower Company is the owner and Viasat Incorporated is the petitioner. The property is located approximately 3/10 of a mile north of 165th Avenue on the west side of Grant Street, also known as 16290 Street in Creek Township. The request is a special exception from the unincorporated county zoning ordinance, section 2.10A6, public services, and the purpose of allowing an internet satellite node. Commissioner Reserve.
Randy Jones should be with us again.
Yes, I'm here.
Go ahead and speak, Mr. Jones.
Yes, my name's Randy Jones. I'm Senior Site Development Project Manager for ViSat, based out of Denver, Colorado. The site will consist of one dish, or antenna as we like to call it, 2 boxes. They'll be surrounded by a chain link fence. Enter the site, you will go down the existing driveway that is now serving the Clearview Tower, or what we used to call Adams Radio. And then we will put in a small drive, as the drawings show, to the site. And then we bring in our own fiber line, our own power into it. There's another item called an oscillator that also feeds the fiber to the site and talks to the rest of the network. This is one site of many throughout a network, and that it provides high-speed broadband internet, comparable speeds to Comcast or whoever your cable network may be out there. It is mostly our customers are rural folks, but people in the urban areas will also be able to use it if they choose to do so. Primarily, it is folks in the rural areas will now have access to high-speed internet once the satellite is launched, and this satellite access node, along with many others, are built and put into place. We ask you to approve the special exception so that we can move forward with the building permit process through the county. And with that, if any questions, I'll answer.
Do I have any questions from the board? Seeing none, I'll take this to the public. Anybody to speak for or against this petition? Anyone for or against? Anyone to speak for or against? Seeing none, I will bring this back before the board for any discussion. No discussion. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, no. Motion approved.
Right along, item number 3, petition number -09. S. Ruth is the owner petitioner. The property is located approximately 7/10 of a mile east of Tully on the south side of 118th Avenue, also known as 13397 West 118th Place in Hamilton Township. Request is various development standards for the unincorporated county zoning ordinance, section 9(3)(c)(1). Accessory 1,302 square feet permitted. Requested to allow a 40 by 32 accessory building. Mr. Ruth available?
He is. We unmute his mic. All right. Daniel?
Yes.
Okay, Daniel Ruth is with us.
Go ahead, Mr. Ruth. Tell us what you want to do here.
I want to add a accessory building in the back of my property. To store vehicles.
For personal use only.
Yes.
Do I have any other questions from the board? Seeing none, I'll take this to the public. Anybody to speak for or against this petition? Anyone to speak for or against this petition? Anyone to speak for or against? Seeing none, the board for any discussion. Seeing no discussion, do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion to approve the pole building to include the findings of fact.
I have a motion. I have a second.
I'll second.
I'll second it.
All those in favor by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, no.
Motion's approved.
Moving right along, items number 4 and 5 are both related. Number 4 is for 20-10. Bridget and Brian Pace are the owners and petitioners. The property is located approximately 6 tenths of a mile south of 141st Avenue on the east side of Reeder Road, also known as 611 Reeder Road in Center Township. The request is a variance from the unincorporated Lake County zoning ordinance, section 9.3C1. Accessory buildings, 1,992 square feet requested, with the purpose to allow a 30 by accessory building for personal use. Also related to petition number 5, petition number 20-B-11. The owners, same property location. This request is also a variance from development standards from the unincorporated Lake County. Section 9.9G, accessory buildings, rear yard only, and the purpose is called a side yard.
They're on the call. So.
Hello?
Brian?
Yes.
Hi, Brian.
Hello.
Brian Pace is with us.
All right. What I'd like to do is build a garage.
Okay, you're wanting to build a garage and then inside your.
Pardon me, you broke up.
Is the second part of the petition, is that gonna be is it gonna be access to existing driveway?
Yes, it will.
Okay, in the side yard, the setback?
Yes.
Is off the not the proper setback, it's just that it's not behind.
Right.
Okay. Satisfies everything as far as side yard.
Do I have any other questions from the board members?
I have a question. Steve, we're getting a lot of echo.
You know what?
We're muted here, so.
Did that make a difference?
I think that made it better.
Okay,
Yeah.
Sorry
Oh,
about that. That was free of charge, those special audio effects.
Okay.
Yeah, we could leave the end one on down there, that'd be.
That's
Okay.
still there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of feedback on my end also.
Okay.
Seems to be quiet now.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just want to make sure Carol's getting this recorded, is it?
Yeah, for some reason it's interfering.
Uh,
It should be recording on there, I hope.
Yeah.
Oh.
It says it's recording, so.
Okay, where were we? Had questions from the board, nothing from the board? Seeing none, I'll take this to the public. Do we have anyone to speak for or against? Anyone to speak for or against? Anyone to speak for or against this petition? See anybody there?
Nope, I don't see anybody.
Seeing none, I'll bring this back before the board for discussion. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the first motion to approve the accessory building for personal use to include the findings of fact.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor by saying aye? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Do I have a motion on the second part of this petition?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion. I'll second. For
Second.
approval.
I have a motion and a second.
Second.
All those in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Motion carried.
Just let know Mr. Pace can go ahead and apply for his building permit too. Items number 6 and 7 are related as the previous two were.
Thank you, gentlemen.
6 is petition number 20-B-12. Joe Marino is the owner and the petitioner. The property is located in the southeast quadrant at the intersection of State Line Road and 113th Avenue, also known as 15959 West 113th Avenue in Hanover Township. The request is a variance from development standards from the unincorporated Lake County zoning ordinance, Section 9.3C1, accessory buildings, 1,302 square feet permitted, 2,872 square feet is being requested. The purpose is to allow a 24 by 24 addition to an existing building for personal use. And item number 7, petition number 20-D-13, same owner, same petitioner, same property location. This request is also a variance from development standards from the unincorporated Lake County zoning ordinance, section 2.7I, minimum setbacks, 50 feet required, 37 feet is being requested. And the purpose is to allow an addition to an accessory building that encroaches the 50-foot building line. If the Marinos are available.
They are on the call. Joe?
Hello?
Joe?
Yes,
Go ahead and state what you want to do here.
I want to put a 24 by 24 addition onto my existing pole barn. Give me a little more storage space for personal use only.
Stuff won't be in the yard.
That way I won't have to store things in the yard as much as I have had to. Primarily to store our gardening tools, because we do have 2 huge gardens on the property plus many fruit trees.
Do I have any questions from the board?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
is there, Steve, if you're familiar with the property, is there any kind of easement or utilities or anything that might be a problem down the road encroaching on the setback?
No, no utilities. It's just encroaching over the building setback.
Legal county drain, nothing back there?
Nothing of that nature, no.
Okay, that sounds fine then. Thank you.
Well,
Any other questions from the board? Seeing none, I'll take this to the public. Anybody to speak for or against this petition? Anyone to speak for or against this petition? Anyone for or against this petition? Seeing none, I'll bring this back before the board for discussion. No discussion. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion to approve the addition to the accessory building to include the findings of fact.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor by saying aye? Aye.
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed, no. Motion's approved. I have a discussion on the second item? Seeing none. I have a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make that motion on the setback line encroaching to include the findings of fact.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I'll second it.
All those in favor by saying aye? Aye. All those
Aye.
opposed, no.
Mr. We're going to go ahead and apply for the building permit. Been approved.
Thank you.
Number 8, petition number 20-14. The property is located approximately 0.2 of a mile north of 197th Avenue on the east side of Calumet, West Creek Township. The request is a development standards from unincorporated Lake County zoning ordinance section 9.3C1, accessory buildings, 1,814 square feet permitted, 9,965 square feet requested, and the purpose is to allow a 60 by 120 addition to an existing accessory building for personal use. We have Mr. Quill available?
We do. Yep. Okay. He's using an older version of Zoom, so I have to promote him to a panelist. So give me a second. You should video
I snarfed one hot dog down. I had to get back.
Turn this one back
on there.
Okay, let's see. Here he is. Hi, Mr. Quill. Oh, he's muted. Hold on one second. Okay, you're with us now.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Go ahead and state what you want to do.
It's for personal use, to store my motorhome in, my tractor. I've got a 4-horse, fifth-wheel horse trailer, a 3-horse fifth-wheel horse trailer, and like I said, a tractor, and I want to put a small riding arena in there for my horse.
Do I have any questions from the board?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Steve, I'm not real familiar with that site either, and I'm assuming it's a pretty decent sized parcel. I mean, according to your calculations, you got almost 10,000 square feet of pole building here. Is that a pretty good size? 10 acres? Okay.
Yes.
All right, that sounds fine.
Sir, also, I own the 5 acres next door too.
Okay. Staff tried to guide Mr. Quill to combine those properties, but there were reasons that you couldn't, so he's really forced to have to go through this process and get your blessing to go ahead.
Yeah.
So that is a different parcel, though. That other 5 acres is a different parcel.
Right. Separate deed.
Okay.
Any other questions from the board? Seeing none, I'll take this to the public. Anybody to speak for or against this petition? Anyone to speak for or against this petition? Anyone to speak for or against? Seeing none, I will bring this back to the board for discussion. There's no discussion. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion to approve the addition to the accessory building to include the findings of fact.
I have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor by saying aye? Aye.
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 All those opposed, no. Motion's been approved. You can go ahead and apply for your permit.
Thank you, gentlemen. All you stay safe.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, good evening.
Items number 9 and 10 are both related. Item number 9 is 20-15. Brian Brinsma, owner and Ben Snyder, petitioner. The property is located approximately 0.6 miles south of 197th Avenue on the west side of Calumet Street, also known as 20144 Calumet Street in West Creek Township. The request is a variance for development standards for the County Zoning Code, Section 9.3C2. Maximum building height 18 feet permitted, 25 feet being requested, and the purpose is to allow an accessory building with an overall height of 25 feet for personal use. Also related is item number 10, petition number 20-V-16, same owner, same petitioner, same property. This request is also a variance from development standards from the unincorporated Lake County zoning ordinance, section 9.9G. Accessory buildings relegated to the rear yard only. The purpose is to allow an accessory building in the front yard. If Mr. Slager is here, could you address the board, sir?
He is. Yes. Ben?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Good evening. This is Ben Blankter. I'm petitioning for Ryan Breitzma. And yeah, as stated, I'm just applying for variance, 2 variances for front yard and a 25-foot peak height on a accessory building for personal use.
Do I have any questions from the board? Seeing none, I'll take this to the public. Anyone to speak for or against this petition? Anyone to speak for or against this petition? Anyone to speak for or against? Seeing none, I'll bring this back before the board for discussion. Is there any discussion from the board? Seeing none, do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion to approve the accessory building with the overall height of 25 feet for personal use to include the findings of fact.
I have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed, no. Do I have a motion on the second item?
Mr. Chairman,
I'll make a motion. Go ahead, Jim. Go ahead, Jim.
I'll make the motion to allow the variance for the accessory building in the front yard to include the findings of fact.
I have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. You can go ahead and apply for your building permit. It's been approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Item number 12, petition number 20-B-18. Joe Jacobowitz is the owner and Brian LaFoon is the petitioner. The property is located approximately 0.4 of a mile south of 117th east side of Burr Street, also known as 12021 Burr Street in Center Township. The request is a variance from development standards from the unincorporated Lake County zoning ordinance, section 9.3C1, accessory buildings, 1,590 square feet permitted, 4,293 square feet. 48 to 32 addition existing accessory building, personal use. Not sure if Brian's with us or who's.
Brian is on the call. Me. Okay, Brian?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Mr. Chairman and gentlemen of the board, this is Brian LaFoon with Eric Gates Master Builder, here petitioning the board to, with our Joe, to petition the board for 32 by 38 of his existing building. It's storage for his classic cars. It's personal use, recreational vehicles, four-wheelers, things like that. He needs to get in storage. He's got an 85 Monte Carlo, 63 Chevy that's in storage. He'd like to get in there. His existing building's used basically as a little shop for himself, just to work on vehicles, and then it's his garage for his house because he does not have an attached garage. And Mr. Jacobowitz is here if you folks have any questions.
Do I have any questions from the board? We still have everybody. Seeing no questions from the board, I'll take it to the public. Anybody to speak for or against this petition? Anyone to speak for or against this petition? Anyone to speak for or against? Seeing none, I'll bring it back before the board for discussion. If there's no discussion, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
The fact.
Second.
Second it.
All those in favor by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion's passed, and you can apply for your permit.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Items number 13 and 14 are both related. Item number 13 is petition number 20-B-19. Gail DeVries is the owner and petitioner. The property is located 9/10 of a mile east of Calumet Avenue, on the north side of 81st Avenue, also known as 12906 West 81st Avenue in St. John Township. The request is a variance from development standards from the unincorporated Lake County Ordinance, section 9.3C1, accessory buildings, 1,814 square feet, 2,896 square feet is requested, of allowing accessory building with a 12 by 48 foot lean-to for personal use. In addition to that is item number 14, petition number 20-B-20, same owner, same petitioner, same property. This is also a variance from development standards from the unincorporated Lake County zoning ordinance, section 9.3C2, max building height of 8 feet. 24 feet is being requested, with a building with an overall height of 24 feet. If the Rees is with us, he can hopefully address the board.
Dale?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead and tell us what your intentions are.
I'm just looking up to put another accessory building, personal use. I have a fifth wheel camper that I'd like to get inside storage, and a tractor and some other cars, and just to keep all the clutter out of view.
Okay, do I have any questions from the board? Seeing none, I'll take this to the public. Anybody to speak for or against this? Anyone to speak for or against? Anyone to speak for or against this petition? Seeing none, I'll bring this back before the board for discussion. Seeing no
Mr. Chairman.
discussion, do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve the accessory building for personal use to include the findings of fact.
I have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, no. Do I have a motion on the second part of the petition?
Make a motion to accept the second petition based on the finding of facts.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no.
Aye.
Mr. DeVries, you can go ahead and apply for your permit.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Items number 15 and 16 are both related. Item number 15 is petition number 20-V-. Star Submission is the owner and petitioner. The property is located approximately 7/10 of a mile south of 156th Avenue on the west side of White Oak Avenue, also known as 156.2 Oak Avenue, West Creek Township. The request is a variance from development standards from the unincorporated Lake County zoning ordinance, section 9.3C1, accessory buildings. 1,814 square feet permitted, 2,320 square feet is being requested, with the purpose of allowing a 40 by 48 post-frame accessory building for personal use. Number 16, which is petition number 20-V-22, same petitioner, same property location. This is also a request for a variance from development standards from the unincorporated county zoning section 9.3C2, maximum building height 18 feet permitted, 20 feet requested, with the purpose of allowing accessory buildings with an overall height of 20 feet. If Mr. Starsovich is available to address the board.
Hello, I'm here.
Yes, go ahead and address the board, Mr. Starsovich.
Yes, hi. Yeah, I want to put up a new building. I had one that I had to tear down. It was very old, and I'm putting up the new one so I can store everything inside. You know, I've got a pontoon boat, a fishing boat, a tractor, and you know, tools, and my couple of vans. And that's basically what I'm putting it up for, just to clean up the yard. I got a lot of stuff laying around that my wife doesn't like.
Okay. So, do I have any questions from the board? Seeing no questions from the board, I'll take it to the public. Anybody to speak for or against this petition? Anyone to speak for or against? Anyone to speak for or against this petition? Seeing none, I'll bring this back to the board for discussion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion to approve the pole building to include the findings of fact.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Do I have a motion on the second part of the item petition?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion to approve the overall height of 20 feet to include the findings of fact.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, no. Petition is passed. You can apply for your building permit.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving right along, items number 17 and 18 are also related. Item number 17 is petition number 20-V-22. Oliver is the owner petitioner. The property is located approximately 2/10 of a mile west of Burr Street on the north side of 122nd Avenue, also known as 5904 West 122nd Avenue in Center Township. The request is a variance from development standards from the unincorporated Lake County zoning ordinance, section 9.3B, accessory building, 1,014 square feet permitted, 1,040 square feet is requested. The purpose is to allow a 40 by accessory building. Here's petition number 20-V-24, same owner, same petitioner. Property. This request is also a variance from development standards from the unincorporated Lake County zoning ordinance, section 2.7I3, minimum setback 30 feet. Requested the purpose is to allow an accessory building to approach the 30 building setback. Mr. Available to address the board, please.
Yes. Huh?
I don't know what they do different. The sound was better the first meeting, this meeting. I don't know if they got a couple other mics open.
Mr. Brower,
Hi.
if you want to go ahead and address the board.
I'm requesting putting a accessory building to replace the existing garage and shed in the same location approximately, and that's pretty much it.
Okay. Do I have any questions from the board?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Steve, similar to my last question with the setback encroachment, any utility easements, drains, swales, county ditches, anything to be aware of?
No, he's right at, we're a street dead ends at the extreme west end of Sleepy Hollow subdivision. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but yeah, there's nothing there. He's at the extreme north end. He wants to have a driveway come off of that dead end street. He wants to, he's pretty cramped area, so he needs to kind of bump it off to the west a little bit. And unfortunately, he has to encroach that building setback. As far as the size, I mean, I think there's similar buildings in that area that are of a similar size to that, so.
Okay. He took down a building to replace this one, to be replaced with this one. In the exact, in the same site.
Yeah, not down yet, but we'll see.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? Seeing none, I'll take this to the public. Anybody to speak for or against this petition? Anyone to speak for or against this petition? Speak for or against?
I'm not plugged in.
Seeing none, I'll bring this back to the board for discussion. If there's no discussion, do I have a motion?
Okay, unplug the black one.
That's laptop, isn't it?
Yeah, it should last for a little while.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the accessory building for personal use with the finding of fact.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor by saying aye? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no? All right, do I have a motion on the second part of the second
I'll
petition?
also make a motion for approval on the setback with the finding of fact.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor by saying
I'll second it.
aye?
Aye.
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 All those opposed, no? Motion carried. You can go ahead and apply for your permit.
Thank you and have a great night.
You.
Items 19 and 20 are related. Item 19 is petition number 20-V-25. Staff for petitioner. The property is located at the northeast quadrant at the intersection of 190th Avenue and place also known as 628 West 190th Avenue, Cedar Creek. Development status from the unincorporated Lake County section 3C1. Accessory buildings 1,302 square feet permitted, 2,887 square feet requested, and the purpose is to allow a 36 by 54 accessory building with a 6-foot by 18-foot lean-to for personal use. Petition number 20, item number 20, petition number 20-V-26, same owner, same petitioner, same property. This is also a variance from development standards from the unincorporated zoning section 9.3B, maximum building 16 feet permitted. 18 feet is being requested for the purpose of allowing an accessory building with an overall height of 18 feet.
Hello, this is Scott Felton. Can you hear me?
Yes, you want to go ahead and address the board?
Yes, sir. I'm asking for a variance to allow me to replace my existing pole barn. It's about 25 years old. I want to make one a little bigger and just a little taller for personal use.
Do I have any questions from the board? Seeing none, I'll take this to the public. Anybody to speak for? Anyone to speak for or against? Anyone to speak for or against this petition? Seeing none, I'll bring this back to the board for discussion. If there's no discussion, do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the 6 by 54 accessory building for width 6 foot by 18 foot lean-to for personal use with the finding of fact.
I have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
I'll second it.
All those in favor by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, no. Do I have a motion on the second petition?
I'll make a motion to approve the 18-foot request for overall height of 18 foot with the finding of fact.
Do I have a motion? I have a second.
Second.
I'll second it.
All those in favor by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, no. You can go ahead and apply for your permit, Mr. Felton.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Item number 21 is petition number 20-B-27. John Baskey is the owner petitioner. The property is located approximately 7/10 of a mile south of 101st Avenue, side of State Line Road, also known as 1070 State Line Road in Hanover Township. The request is a variance for development standards for unincorporated Lake County zoning ordinance section 2.2, setback 50 feet. 14 feet is being requested, and the purpose of our report that includes the foot building line. We have Mr. Baskey available to address the board.
We do. Hold on one second here.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. You want to address the board, Mr. Baskey?
Yes, I would like to. We have a single-family home there. It was built in 1931. It is a ranch house. What we'd like to do is put a front porch on the ranch house. And it would extend 10 feet to the west of the house, existing house. It is Crete Township Highway Department. We have all our health surveyors and highway department approved. I spoke with Tony at the Crete Highway Department. We put a 18-inch culvert out there for water. It's overhead power. There is no natural gas or fiber optic or anything like that. And that's about it.
With this front porch on, how far is this setback off the street? You know?
It's going to be a 14-foot setback off the right edge of the street right away, not the physical street, but the edge of the right of way.
Oh, okay.
It's 60 feet from the edge of the roadway, I believe is what is in there.
Yeah, I think the road kind of skews more to the west towards Illinois, so I mean, the physical improvement is still a great distance away.
The existing home to the edge of the road is like 67 feet or 63 feet, something like that. So it would be, when the porch is finished, it would be 50 some feet from the edge of the road.
Oh, okay. So you're still gonna have plenty of setback. I didn't know what the finished product was gonna be.
Yeah, it's right now the 50-foot setback is in the kitchen window. So it's the house itself, built in 1931, is past the setback already.
Okay. Do I have any other discussion from the board? Any questions? Seeing none, I'll take this to the public. Anybody to speak for or against this petition? Anyone to speak for or against this petition? Anyone to speak for or against? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the board for discussion. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion to approve the variance to include the findings of fact.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. You can go ahead and apply for your permit.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The final item on the agenda is item number 22, petition -28. Judith Chandler Kuzza, owner, and Judith Chandler Kuzza's petitioner. The property is located at the southeast quadrant at the intersection of 153rd Avenue and Morris Street, also known as 15304 Morris Street in Cedar Creek Township. The request is a variance from development standards from the unincorporated Lake County zoning ordinance, section 5.1B2, minimum lot frontage 100 feet. 87.9 feet is requested, and the purpose is to allow a lot with an 87.94 foot width of frontage. Is Judith Chandler Souza with us?
She is.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, go ahead and present to the board.
I have about a 4-acre lot that had a residence on it before. It is zone residential, but it only has 87 feet frontage in unincorporated Lake County. The normal is 100, and I'm asking for a variance so that it can be a residential building site.
Okay, thank you. Is this a correction on a lot size, or is this a new lot?
The thing is, there's a house.
No, it is not new. There was a house on it before. There is a gravel base for driveway there now, but it hasn't had a residence on it for a while.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Do I have any questions from the board? Seeing no questions from the board, I'll take it to the public. Anybody to speak for or against this petition? Anyone to speak for or against this petition? Anyone to speak for or against? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the board for discussion.
Mr. Chairman, I do see Highway Department recommends denial. I guess that they want to keep that 100 foot.
Yeah, but I recognize that. Dwayne's pretty staunch on just to stick with that.
Okay, another question. It's environmentally sensitive area. Flood hazard
Only
area
part of it.
on the back side of the property.
Mm-hmm.
That's in the rear.
But I guess it doesn't really have anything to do with the front of it. You're not building.
No.
And as we, this is my personal opinion, we're going to come across these odd shaped parcels. And, basically she's trapped with that. It's not too far off the ordinance standard.
Right. I don't have a problem with the 88 feet, 87 point.
I don't either.
I just brought the subject up in case.
Right. And if there was drainage and flooding issues or.
Well, the surveyor doesn't have a problem with it.
No, that would be addressed with the surveyor.
Right, exactly.
Do I have any other discussion from the board? Seeing none, do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion to approve the variance to include the findings of fact.
I have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second it.
All those in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no? You can come and apply for your permit. No.
Thank you so much.
Oh, sorry, you have to go for subdivision approval.
Okay, what was that?
I said you'll have to go for subdivision approval now.
Okay. I'll
But your motion,
come for guidance. Thank you.
okay.
Okay, thank you.
Do I have a motion to adjourn
Motion to adjourn.
and a second? All those in favor by saying aye?
I'll second it.
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Good job, guys.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone. Be safe.
Good
Yeah,
job.
you too.
You guys did a fine job tonight. Christina, if you're there, you did a great job.
Oh, thank you.
Good seeing you,
All right.
Joe. Looks like you're kind of relaxed.
I'm kind of
I'll
relaxed.
second that.
All right. Good
I missed,
night.
missed seeing everybody in person though.
Yes.
Maybe soon.
You all earned your money tonight.
Yeah. Good job, guys. Everybody stay safe. We'll catch up next month.
All righty, man.
All right. See y'all.
In person.
Hopefully.